trauma drama series pitch, Against the Darkness, Into the Light. Logline, a lone individual, targeted by a sprawling network of organized criminals and corrupt elites, finds himself not just battling human evil, but seemingly at war with Satan himself. Or trapped in a society where police, media, and government are complicit or even actively participating in the crimes, he endures attempted murders, poisonings, psychological torture, and systemic betrayal. Yet through divine faith, miracles, and unshakable love, he not only survives but rises. This true story exposes a satanic kratocracy and a criminal web operating under the cover of legitimacy, inviting viewers into a gripping, faith-fueled journey toward redemption and awakening. Synopsis: Against the Darkness, Into the Light is a bold, high-stakes, character-driven drama based on the harrowing real-life story of Lorne Jason Wetstein, a man who survived over 27 years of gang stalking, poisoning, sexual assault, fraud, illegal surveillance, entrapment, arson, and near-death experiences at the hands of a vast criminal network. They didn't just try to kill him, they tried to pay a surgeon to botch his operation. But Lorne caught them in the act. This web of corruption spans organized crime, dirty cops, judges, tech companies, and political figures, shielded by a system that actively rewards pedophiles, suppresses whistleblowers, and uses blackmail and psychological warfare to silence truth-tellers. Some RCMP officers and police are not just ignoring select crimes, they are participating in them. Many are compromised through their own criminal behavior, manipulated by blackmail, or collaborating with informants granted immunity in exchange for doing the dirty work. Known criminals are protected and weaponized to take down rivals, while whistleblowers like Lorne are harassed, drugged, including with scopolamine, also known as devil's breath, assaulted, and nearly killed. To coerce false confessions, claiming he was gay, a pedophile, or attempting to entrap him with escorts and masturbation setups. The repeated failures only proved it wasn't working. They even tried using the same tactic on Jared Bacon, attempting to manipulate him into killing Lorne. Ironically, it was Lorne who called RCMP and paramedics, saving Jared's life. Meanwhile, the public was gaslit and left in the dark. RCMP Gang Task Force once asked Lorne if he would turn on the Hells Angels or Advanced Nutrients. He refused and never did. Both organizations had members acting as police informants, and his refusal made him not just inconvenient but a threat to their narrative. The RCMP and police weren't just turning a blind eye, they were actively working with criminals. Lorne uncovered how upper-level criminals used law enforcement to eliminate rivals and internal targets, like Damian Patrick Ryan, who was turned in by the same group tormenting Lorne. In return, RCMP suppressed real investigations with fake ones, relying on criminals to install bugs, plants, and conduct illegal ops on their behalf. After surviving a second assassination attempt, Dark Mike, a powerful BC-based drug smuggler and self-styled Tony Soprano figure deported from Canada in 2005, flew Lorne to Los Angeles under the guise of protection. Lorne was held for nearly a year at the Line Hotel in Los Angeles and the Loews Hotel in Hollywood. But this was no safe haven. It was a trap. He was drugged at the hotel bar, poisoned so severely he hovered near death for 5 days with a fever of 104 degrees Fahrenheit. His phones and computers were hacked. Handlers befriended him under false pretenses. It became obvious that the supposed protector ex-CIA Adam wasn't there to protect him at all, and that Dark Mike was part of the same criminal network. Lorne was kept in fear by a man deeply tied to pornography via Starnet, drug trafficking, and political power. Once he saw the truth, he fled, escaping not only a criminal underworld but the illusion of protection itself. Over nearly 3 decades, Lorne was tortured, sexually abused by 4 known individuals and others still unidentified, poisoned, drugged with devil's breath, and filmed without consent. One witness, Ted Nguyen, began speaking about what happened to Lorne and demanded more money. Ted was later killed by Chin Duc Vu, a murder followed by the burning of a house to destroy video evidence. Lorne was drugged and poisoned repeatedly, but after 2 years of exposing corruption, Chin Duc Vu was finally arrested. Nicole, also known as Evelyn 13 or Andy, so many fake names, whom Lorne simply calls the Old Witch, is a longtime BDSM promoter and dark witch linked to Starnet since 1996. Starnet involved in child porn, trafficking, and snuff. Not easy to play this down. She even to date runs fetish events and parties such as Sin City in Vancouver. So many intertwined groups and people on called The Other Side. And with ties to Piggy's Palace Picton serial killer and Starnet, it just got to obvious. She knew Lorne had uncovered the link between Starnet, the RCMP, for example, Jim Brown, the Picton murders, and broader cover-ups. Her entrapment plan traces back to Richard Thiessen and Randy Potts in 1998, along with the setup involving Michael Dollard Plant, a police informant inside the Hells Angels. They spent 27 years trying to poison, entrap, and destroy Lorne, lacing his food, spiking him with drugs, and even attempting a fentanyl overdose in 2016. Project Enigma, an RCMP operation, exposed how Starnet laundered millions through fake offshore setups. RCMP officer Mike Ryan believes Starnet's online sports betting was a front. In 1999, Project Enigma seized 74 computers, 154 boxes of documents, and over $6 million. Starnet rebranded, resumed operations under new names, and continued child exploitation, roid sales, and mass drug production, all while holding law enforcement in their pocket. Lorne knows their real names. He was hired, used, and betrayed, set up by Dark Mike and Gino, and stalked by people tied to the very network he tried to expose. Starnet Oxy knew the bust was coming, and they all sold public, shared, and swapped name, all as if they knew because they did know. Evelyn 13, Richard, Dark Mike, Gino, and many not named, and many very big players now only know they are their own rats and informants, and the evil they do is only ignore for dark favors. Redemption through fire. Lorne never chose this war with evil. They chose him. They forced it. Despite what felt like a demonic practical joke on his life, he fought back, not with violence, but with truth. He launched awareness campaigns, sent over 70,000 emails and later 100,000 more, and reached out to the media, police, politicians, and even the U.S. president. He shared documents, recordings, and first-hand accounts of murder, rape, drug trafficking, and deep corruption. Yet no media, police, or official would respond, not even to question him. But through it all, Lorne chose not to become like them. He abandoned alcohol and drugs. He turned to faith, forgiveness, and divine strength. He became a living example of truth and love. Proof that even when lions roam and darkness reigns, light still rises. Key themes: resilience through trauma, from a poisoned and molested target to a warrior of truth and love. Systemic corruption, a first-hand look into a system where media, judges, and police are part of the crimes. Faith over fear, a spiritual war where divine truth is the only weapon. Truth as weapon. Lorne uses recordings, emails, and exposure, not revenge. Forgiveness without forgetting. He seeks no vengeance but buries no truth. Series structure. Spiritual inspirational format, 11-episode limited series, 60 minutes per episode. Tone, gritty, raw, emotionally intense with spiritual undertone setting. Vancouver, Toronto, LA, rural BC, Piggy's Palace, underground BDSM clubs, government offices, etc. Visual style, stark realism, spiritual visions, hidden cams, glitches, flashbacks, key episodes, sample titles, The Trap. Lorne is offered work by criminals masking setups as job offers. Poisoned, he's drugged repeatedly with devil's breath, revealing assassination attempts, rats in robes, inside the blackmail ops of police and criminal informants. Dark Palace, Lorne exposes RCMP links to porn, snuff, BDSM, and Picton. The whistleblower, 70,000 emails go out. The system retaliates. Divine intervention, an assassin is stopped by Lorne's compassion. The last light, forgiveness, and truth shine through as Lorne speaks out. Our characters: protagonist, Lorne Jason Wetstein, faithful, strong, unbreakable, and guided by truth. Antagonists: Dark Mike, Evelyn 13, RCMP officials, elite handlers, and corrupt media. Allies: a journalist, a few loyal friends, and those brave enough to stand in the light. The assassin, Jared Bacon, a failed killer turned accidental witness to grace. Unique selling points, true story, supported by mountains of evidence. Broad appeal for fans of Spotlight, The Night of, The Vow. Spiritual depth, hope, faith, and light in the darkest places. Investor opportunity, high impact, mid-budget with real-world urgency. Star role potential. Lorne can authentically play himself, bringing unmatched realism. Target audience, adults. 18 to 65, true crime, survivor justice and corruption, expose fans, faith-based. Viewers seeking stories of redemption, activists and organizations confronting institutional evil. Production notes budget, mid to high range. Authentic locations, shooting in Canada and U.S. casting, talent-based, not celebrity-driven. Lorne to play himself. Or HBO Max Impact campaign, partner with trauma recovery, faith and anti-corruption orgs. Why this series matters: this isn't fiction based on truth. This is the truth. Shocking, raw, and spiritual. This is not a story of victimhood, but of victory. Lauren Jason Wetstein stood alone against a machine of evil, and with truth he won. God wins. Truth wins. Love wins. Always.